Okay, we are recording. Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
And this is a Patreon only video for a Patreon only Patreon. And her name is Dondu.
What's her name?
Dondu.
I'm not going to do anything. What's her name?
Dondu.
Don't do it. Don't you do it.
That reminds me of that Andy Matichak joke. She's like, that's not your phone. I was like, that's pretty good.
It's about as bad.
So Dondu has been a long time Patreon, and I'm really sorry it took us so long to get to this. We're really trying to power through these as much as we can, but she's been super patient, super cool. And because when we did her unboxing, they sent us all those crazy candies, like the brain candies and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
She actually
did she send the one that was the fucking popper one?
I don't no. This is the one that with the brain that was like melting.
Okay, I was gonna say I would not be pleased with you if that was you.
She actually sent me a voice recording of her saying her name so that I could get it right because I'm a fucking idiot. And it's Dondu. Dondu. I love it. I love the way it sounds. It's a pretty name. And when I type it, I can't even do you know how some names have the O and then they have the two dots above them? I don't know how to make the two dots. It's not an option.
Yeah. For the accent.
Yeah, I feel bad. Yeah. But it's so cool.
That's all right. I mean, she goes by it's like you look at Dido.
Yeah. Dito.
It's good. Yeah, if you ever come out with a music career, Dondu. Hey, the new album from Dondu.
It's so cool that like people so far away from us actually like our shit. It was weird. I was sending out some of those Patreon membership cards, which Dondu will get one as well. Everybody in the top tier gets one. And working on trying to get more done as well. But I was amazed at how many of those were going overseas. Like how many there's a bunch of people in the United Kingdom, got a bunch of people in London. You sound like you're from London. Got some people in Australia. Toasted chalupa and Dondu. So anyways,
Crocodile Dundee. That's all I know. Kangaroo Jack. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo.
The movie she requested is called BARDA, and I hope when I'm saying that right. It's BARDA, and I think it translates to in bar.
Yeah. We had to watch it on YouTube, and it's called BARDA in bar. Because the translation's kind of off on some of it.
Yeah, and it's hard to find too. So if you guys want to watch this, I'll actually put a link below to the version we watched. It's for free on YouTube, and it is fucking wild and crazy, kids. Okay.
Yeah. Hey Dondu, I'm gonna ask you a question. I mean, was it a late night infomercial that you may have just stumbled across, and then it was called Rob Zombie Hooked on Raponics? Because this is like this movie was made by people that got on Hooked on Raponics, and holy fuck, it's like you get 30 minutes of it's a basic kind of movie about college friends hanging out, planning their futures. There's like this big thing going on about an abortion that they're trying to figure out if they're gonna do it or not. It's kind of like shit like that, and then all of a sudden they get fucking raped in a bar. And it's like the whole movie, but it's not. You know what I will say though, they didn't do it like full on graphic. It wasn't full on. It could have been way worse. Yeah, because I thought it was gonna be like when I was like, oh shit. When I read what it was about, I thought it was gonna be like a Serbian film.
Yeah,
or some shit like that.
I didn't read anything about it. Hey, by the way, this will be no, you guys will see that before. I was going to talk about the camera and all that shit that we got going on here, but you guys will see it on the live stream tomorrow night, probably before this is up. If not, check out Jay's new fucking look. He's looking smooth.
We went to Mike and I went to Radio Shack.
We went to Jared's.
Yeah, we did. And we got engagement rings afterwards.
And a Chipotle burrito.
Yeah, we did.
I gotta take you to Chipotle, by the way. You never fucking been still. We gotta make
because I don't like that. Ever since the Subway thing running through the garden, I don't like to tell people how to make, I don't like that.
I'll go first and I'll show you how it's done. They'd be like,
I don't want
yeah.
I'm not gonna look like fucking Simple Jack following behind you to be like, how you make sandwich? How you make sandwich?
This should make a YouTube video. Dude, I got a weird bump on my leg. Oh my god, what is it? What the fuck?
That's your third ball hanging down. Don't worry.
Scary, dude. I think I just hit it on something today. Anyways, back to the fucking movie. Sorry. Back to life. Back to reality. Weird, crazy, wild fucking movie. It's a mix of Hostel. It's a mix of a lot of Funny Games vibes. You remember Funny Games?
Yep.
A lot of those vibes. Really fucked up movie, man. Really. Whew.
Well, to be honest with you, you get past I mean, by the way, this motherfucking director, he did all right, but it felt like he was the Oprah of rape. You get a rape and you get a rape and you get a rape. You're raped. And also, and by the way, this is, the English translation on it. Sometimes I don't know if that was actually what they were saying, because like one part they were like, "I'm going to fuck you. I'm going to fuck all of you." And the dude's only raping the girls, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna go after that butthole now." And then, but then the victim was like, "No, I'll fuck you." I was like, "So now he's into it. What's going on?" I don't know.
I fuck you.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a mistranslation or if that's actually what they were saying. The weird thing about it was, again, if you get past the rapey parts of it, and there's quite a lot, it's not a terrible movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's not my favorite movie of all time. I'm not going to revisit this anytime soon, but it's not bad. I mean, I get what they were going for, but I don't know if this was a new director or a new editor, because sometimes that shit didn't make sense. Like sometimes it edited parts together, or they put them in weird spots. And I'm like, you must have come in and be like, fuck, I forgot to shoot scene 54. I'm drunk. Because at the end, like, because they were doing it at the very end.
Yeah.
When they do that I was like, that should have been somewhere in the middle or in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, and it's like the whole joke about like, hey, what's the time? It's like, who cares what the fuck time it is?
I know. I think that was part of that was, I think, the translation too. I think some of it's lost in translation for us because we're watching it with the subtitles and stuff. But I know what you're talking about. And here's my thing. Like I normally I hate movies that have any kind of rape scenes in them just because I don't like it. It's one of those things. I thought Wes Craven had it completely right in The Last House on the Left when he shows it off screen, because there's some fucking sick guy out there who, you know what I mean? And like, that's
they get off on it.
Yeah. And that's why I hate some of Rob Zombie's. That's the number one thing I hate most about Rob Zombie, is because he really like revels in it and shit like that. Now this movie, again, because it had that hostile vibe and because it was going for that, and it was trying to make you sick. It was trying to make you uncomfortable. It was trying to make you hate these guys. It didn't feel even though it was gratuitous, it didn't feel as meaningless as some of the rape scenes that I normally hate in movies. So I give it a pass for that. But yeah, dude, it's fucking weird. Like you said, it starts out and they're in this weird underground soccer thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a bar, but then the cool people, the cool kids at the bar, at some point, like the lights go out or some shit, they get to go downstairs and they play in these in a cage, these soccer tournaments. And this one dude's just like fucking Peleing around and just fucking everybody up. And then one of the kids is having a baby and they're going to have an abortion. It's this weird Dawson's Creek thing. And then the next thing you know, they're all hanging out at the bar and they're drinking. Like I wanted to have some beers with these people. They're all partying. Yeah. They're constantly, cheersing each other. They're friends with the bartender. He's like, pour me another one. It's like, I'll pour you another one. And then all of a sudden these fucking, and dude, honestly, it gives you the heebie-jeebies because we've been in bars before. We're the only ones there. And then the fucking rough crowd shows up and they just stare at you.
Yeah. Like, these motherfuckers shop at Skank or Us like 100%. And they smell like old pee and vomit. They stink like a motherfucker. But here's the thing about them. It's not like, and I got that they were the bad guys. I mean, obviously you can just look at them, but that was my point. It's so obvious that I think it would have been better if you didn't, like, if they just dressed like the college kids, if they just looked like normal people, and then they all of a sudden have these fucking psychotic tendencies. That's fucking crazy. That's scary. Yeah. But, and really at the end of it, when you find out their motivations, I kind of was like this. So you started raping people and shooting them because they didn't like the way you looked.
Like, because you didn't get invited to the party.
Yeah, it's like, I got so fucking mad that I just catch him and rape him. Like I was like, and then honestly, they also look like fucking rejects from GTA 4. Like when they were like,
oh my god, I can see that.
They look dead on that. And again, I thought the way they were presenting themselves, I really thought they were going to be part of like some, like, I don't know, some mob, like some kind of mafia or something. And this was just kind of, they just happened to be in here and they were like, I don't know, they just kind of got caught up in it. But I thought it was going to be like a mob organization kind of thing.
Yeah. Or like in Hostel when they're like rich dudes paying to like, go fucking kill and torture young kids. But what's scary about it is the way that the bar's set up is, you see them sitting there drinking, and then there's just like one entrance. And he tells the security guy, what bar have you ever been to where there's just a bunch of security dudes in soccer shirts? I guess that's how they do it down there, because it's a Turkish movie. Well, they're just the employees who work there. But he sends the security guys home, and there's one way in and one way out from what you could tell. And this group of bad dudes, that fucking weirdo, the little guy that I felt actually kind of bad for, because you could tell he's not mentally all there, and they're making him do shit.
Yeah, Newbie or whatever his name was.
Yeah, he's the one that shows up, and he's just sitting at the top of the steps, like, "What you got? I'm going to look at you."
Yeah, but the relationships between all of them didn't even make sense. Like the one guy, okay, he calls him like the newbie or whatever, and he's trying to prove himself to the gang. He's trying to like initiate himself in, but then he gets all weird, and I was like, "Are you a sex slave?" Because he's like, "Come sit on my lap."
He may be,
and he was like, "Oh, you have pretty eyes. Which one do you want?" I'm like, first off, is he like an initiate, or is he your bitch boy / initiate?
Yeah,
I mean, because and then there was another guy. I swear to God, dude, I don't know, the one in the lime green shirt, the little asshole. He looked like Jeremy Piven from Another Country.
He really did, dude. Oh, and you know who the main guy looked like? The big, tall, scary looking motherfucker. He looked like a really skinny version of the dude from Epic Meal Time. Like gay candy. Gay candy.
Oh yeah.
Candied bacon. Gay bacon strips.
I gotta tell you, man, it's and again, not just the rape part, which is it's a turnoff, but I mean, if it's telling the story and it's not like, it's weird to say this, if it's organic in the story and it makes sense why it's in there, then I can get over it. It's not like I'm gonna be like, I'll never see a movie with a rape scene in it again. It's not like that. I'm just saying when it's glorified to the level like Rob Zombie tries to do it in some of his movies, but beyond that, it's just, I do honestly, it's kind of a poorly shot movie. I mean, and I understand it was foreign film company and they don't have access to the millions and hundreds of millions of dollars like Tom Cruise does, and he yells at his staff. It's not that. I'm saying it's because it's just poorly edited. I just think it's a badly edited movie.
And it felt like, what's weird, dude, is like the beginning of it felt like fucking Euro Trip. It felt like a teen like a wild little teen rom-com, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god. And they didn't just rape people, like they killed people too. But you could tell that was kind of by accident. That was the weird thing too. It felt kind of by accident. They show up there, they're like, look at those fucking dickless assholes over there. And it's like, those girls would never look at us, and they get pissed off about it. And then that weird, but that fucking Everybody Loves Raymond looking motherfucker.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah,
the guy with the switchblade. Oh Jesus, or the razor blade. That guy creeped me the fuck out, dude. He genuinely scared me because he looks like your weird uncle.
Oh yeah, he kind of does. When he was going to town, dude, that motherfucker looked like he was painting a Bob Ross fucking picture. Like he was like going to town. And I'm not talking about the rape part because he did that too. But when he uses that razor blade, like it's like he was like having an all day fucking affair at Chuck E. Cheese. Like he was at one of those arcades. And he was like, fuck yeah. Woo!
He was so creepy at it, dude. And what we're talking about, guys, is this guy, because they're basically like, okay, and it's actually pretty creepy seeing the way it all starts out, because they handcuff them all and they lay him in the floor, and then this one dude who looks like a Jersey Shore reject is standing there. I don't know what that thing was. It's like a giant tube. It's like a giant tube thing, and they're all gagged and they're screaming, and it sounds like that scene in Virtuosity where Russell Crowe's like playing the scream song and making everybody cry, and they're like, ah!
Oh yeah.
It sounds like that, and he's just fucking hitting them over, and he egregiously hit, like by like the 20th hit, I'm like, please stop. Like, it made me really fucking uncomfortable. And then they start taking the girls to different rooms, and he's like, which one do you want? You take her. And these poor guys are sitting there and they're having to watch their girlfriends being raped and stuff like that. It's fucking awful.
Yeah, they're all taped up and they're being tortured essentially. But I mean, didn't you know, Mike? I mean, God, I mean, if you read Rob Zombie's Hooked on Raponics, the first thing you do is play whack-a-mole before you rape. It gets you in the mood. And that's what they were doing. They were essentially playing whack-a-mole with these motherfuckers. They were just hitting them.
Yeah, and it was rough to watch, man. But no, the scene we're talking about, that he takes the girl back to this room, and he sits on the table, and she's all tied up, and he pulls out a switchblade. And this dude's just, I can't explain to you how weird he looks. Like, he looks super fucking weird. And I'd put a picture up right here, but I doubt I could even find one. But he pulls out this switchblade, and he's all quiet and just weird and stuff. He doesn't look like he has any interest in the sexual side of things, but he bends her over, whatever, pulls out this razor blade, puts it between his thing, and he's like, he looks like a Nicolas Cage in Face Off when he's dancing in the choir. And he's like, and then all of a sudden he just starts spanking her with the razor blade between his fingers. And by the time she's done with, man, it's just
bloodbath
shit, fuck, dude. Even the other rape guys were like, dude, what'd you do? That was fucked up. You know?
Yeah, dude. Again, did that seem glorification of it? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, they were trying to make them as nasty as possible, and they did a really good job. But again, and I don't know if this is on purpose or it's because they didn't have the money to do it. Even the injuries that the girl suffers they're not Eli Roth. Like, heavy gore or graphic like Rob Zombie could have made them. It's still nasty because you're thinking about it, but it's not as bad. And that's one good thing about it. But honestly, man, it's not that. And it really isn't. It's because the fucking movie's poorly edited. And I don't think that has anything to do with it being lost in translation. As far as like, I know it's a foreign flick. I just think it was poorly edited. And I mean, in some ways it was poorly directed. And not to mention the fact that sometimes the acting was hit or miss. Like, I mean, sometimes you'd be like, yeah, all right, I get it. And then other times they're like, you don't want to kiss? Have you ever touched it? Like, I was like, no. I get what you're saying because you're both virgins, but the way it was coming off was fucking terrible. It's like wooden acting.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it was less it being a foreign film. I said that first, but I think it's less it being a foreign film than it is, a low budget film, because some foreign films come out and they look way fucking better than
Pan's Labyrinth was fucking foreign. And that was great ass, amazing movie.
It's more a budget and editing issue, like you said. But and then you're wondering when this whole soccer thing is going to tie back into it, right? Because we spent a lot of time talking about how good this fucking dude was at soccer, right? Yeah. And then the bad dudes realize that they've got their own fucking arena down there. And then they take them down there and the fucked up games continue. And you could tell if they had they had something way bigger they wanted to do with that. And it didn't really work out. But basically they made these people play them in a game of soccer. And then, there's what I'll say about this, man, for all the bad shit about it, it's meant to evoke an emotion. And it sure as fuck does. Like, you were sick watching it. You're like, God damn it, if I could get my hands on that guy. And interspliced in between it, that's their trial. And you get to watch them defend themselves at the trial. And they try to do too much by showing the lawyers talking and shit like that. And they just kind of show some corruption, I guess, is what they're going for. But
I don't know. I got to be honest. I was glad when it was over.
it's a white knuckler.
Yeah. Well, that, and also on top of it, I was like, it's not my thing. I don't know. Like, I don't know how else to say it. And again, I'm glad you recommended it, because I never would have ever watched this, but it's like, I just think it's not a good movie. It's not a great movie. It's not a bad movie, but it's not it's not necessarily what I would call a good movie, just because the story kind of does drag. The actors are hit or miss. The story is, the story, and the editing is really bad. And the directing is not, it's almost like he just got out of school. Like, I don't know, like, and he just did this first time directing. But other than that, man, I don't know. When I was done watching, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, it's when you need to do something happy afterwards to make you feel better about life. But I will say this again: fans of funny games, fans of the torture movies, the Hostel sequels, those movies, stuff like that. I would recommend it, because it evokes those exact same feelings and emotions. And it's an interesting story when you're watching it, because you're like, okay, how the fuck are they going to get out of this? And whenever you're watching somebody in a hostage situation or in a torture situation, you always put yourself in their shoes. And this one makes you feel extremely bad for them, because they actually do a really good job of giving each person who's being tortured a personality before the torturing shit starts. You got the one girl who's a virgin, and you're hoping to God it doesn't happen to her, so that when that does happen, you're even more sick. It gets the emotions it tries to evoke from you. It's not my type of film either. I have a really hard time watching any kind of rape scenes in any film whatsoever. I understand, and I realize that they are in films, and I realize why they're in this film. And again, as mean as it wasn't egregious in the same way like the director's cut of Halloween was. It's still a lot for me, but it's not as angering as those ones were. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. I think at the end of the day, though, I give it a 5, and then I walk into the sun. Again, guys, if you like that kind of stuff, even if you don't like that if you like the kind of movies that we just mentioned that Mike was talking about, it might be up your alley for sure. If you're not a big fan of rape, you're probably not going to like it. I mean, that's literally the central force of the movie, is that they go through this torture and rape for several hours, and then it's their survival story afterwards. The way that it wraps up and the way that it ends is almost kind of like they rushed. I don't know. They were like, I don't know what the fuck to do here. We just told a rape story. Now I don't know how to go. And then they're like, oh, well, like, have some bad guys kill. I don't know. It's like, it felt very rushed at the end of the movie.
You tell they ran out of time a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. Like and then, I suck. That's what I'm saying. I don't, because that's what, like, again, and I'm trying not to say certain things, because again, I know you recommended it, and we really are appreciative that you recommended it, and you've been waiting for so long, and we do appreciate your patience. But at the same time, it's like there's some movies, dude, that you're just like there's a gift that I send Mike all the time, and it's one of these comedians. It's like, God damn. Like, it's not, you don't really have much to say. And I watched it, and I mean, and I've seen worse. I mean, I've had better. I mean, I've seen worse. It's not like it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, and it's not because I'm turned off by that necessarily. It's not like that's the reason why I would give it such a lowest, like even a 4.5 I might really recommend, but that's not the reason why. The reason why is because I just don't think the guy knew how to tell the story perfectly. Like you could tell there's a lot of problems with it. And again, you know what the main thing for me is, and it frustrated the fuck out of me, dude, because it's like, you would take an intermission if it was like a theatrical play and there was an intermission, and then when you came back, you missed the fucking first 30 minutes. You're like, what the fuck? Where am I? Because that's how they splice the scenes up. You're like, okay, well, I didn't know. And then they try to bring this like the present is the past and then the past is the future kind of shit. And I'm like, you're getting real goddamn Christopher Nolan, and you're getting too big for your britches. You need to stop that. Like, that's what I was like, just make your goddamn rape movie and get over it. Like, it's like you're trying to make it like too like they were trying to get too highbrow with it at certain points. And I'm like, you're not making like, some fucking Inception.
I'm gonna give it a 5.5, just a little bit above yours, and that's just because I think and again, talk about Don't Do and recommending it. I get why you recommended it, because I think as far as it was a great recommendation in the sense that if you're a fan of and they did this a lot in the late 2000s, torture porn was a thing with Saw and everything getting big. Those movies were a big deal. And they were really scary for people. I remember the lead up to Hostel. Everybody here in America was freaking the fuck out because, like, dude, you don't know. We heard this is bad. And everybody was really excited to see that movie because we thought it was really going to fuck us up. For fans of that genre, I guarantee there's a lot of fans of that genre that want movies like Funny Games and want to see it. And this is one that it's a great gem in the rough for that genre. It's not my favorite genre, and again, I have a hard time with certain things in it, but for that genre, it's a really good like budget find. So for fans of that genre, I would recommend it. And we love you, Don't Do. You're fucking awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it was awesome of you to wait.
Yeah. So if you guys are into that, check it out and let us know what you all think about it below, because I guarantee there's nobody we're going to run into in our daily life that has seen that movie. And
no, if you say, have you ever seen BARDA? It was like, no, I missed Madonna's last concert. Was that the guest?
It may be there. It may be there.
That sounds like it's like Avita. Avita.
But let us know if you guys watch it again. I'll put the link down below. It's free on YouTube to watch with subtitles. You just have to turn on the subtitles because I'm a fucking idiot. And I was like, Jay, where'd you find it? You're like, turn on the subtitles, asshole. And I was like, oh,
yeah. Okay. Well, it took me a while, and I like banging my head. I'm like, where the fuck is it? I was like, this chick recommends a movie, and I'm supposed to learn the whole new language? What the fuck? And I'm sorry. I kind of got angry at you for 1 second. Then I'm like, no, she's sweet. Because there it was the entire time right in front of me.
She sent us the direct link to it, but we were just too stupid to turn on the subtitles for like 20 goddamn minutes.
Yeah. Well, as far as like you pointed out Hostel, the good news for us is that we're such uncultured swines. We never were really worried about it because we're never going to go to fucking Europe. No. So I was like, and if I'm going to Europe, motherfucker, I'm staying at the best they got. Budget in.
Eat where you feel safe. Eat at McDonald's.
I'll stay next to that motel right next to their McDonald's. I don't give a shit.
By the way, I had McDonald's new spicy chicken sandwich today. Tried it on the menu. It's good. It tastes exactly like it's good. It's a total ripoff of Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwich. But instead of the spice in the sandwich, the spice is all in the sauce. But it's got it's not very spicy, just enough spicy. You'll enjoy the spicy chicken sandwich from McDonald's.
That fucking sucks, dude. Because ours don't have it yet.
They don't have it yet? I just had it.
No, because April went up there and asked them. They were like, "We ain't got no spicy chicken sandwich."
It was just today.
Oh, they might. Okay, well, okay. They must have got their frozen truck delivery in today, so they can unfreeze it.
That's probably what they did.
That's what.
But we
I'll check that out.
I hope you guys enjoyed this Patreon only review. And BARDA is the name of the movie. Don't Do. Thank you very much for all your support. We really do love you a whole bunch. I really do appreciate you. And we will see you guys soon. Our next Patreon review will be for Cannibal, the musical.
That movie, by the way, like, dude, one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. I'm not gonna shit with you. I fucking died laughing, and I thought it was gonna suck. I'll be honest. I was like, God damn no. And then I was like, this is fucking good.
So that'll be the next Patreon review for Paige Ulmer. That'll be up on here, and then we're gonna do a commentary for The Warriors come out and play.
And now you will see why Tom Hardy is recommended in everything. You and your fucking cup.
He's not in that, is he?
Yeah, Tom, the Warrior. Oh, Warriors. The
Warriors. Yeah.
I thought you meant Warrior.
No, I'd love to watch Warrior right now.
Oh, fuck, dude. I was all hyped up to watch like so we could cry together when they
I
fought
would
in
have
the
loved to
ring.
watch Warrior.
God damn it.
God damn it.
Now I guess I'll have to watch fucking Blue Chips instead so I can get my Nick Nolte fix. That's hey, by the way, best basketball movie of all time.
It's a great fucking basketball movie.
Best
We love your fucking faces. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Hey, we'll see. Hey, we'll see you at a bar in BARDA.